Oh man, this is going to be a long one. Growing up, I played a multitude of different kinds of games. There was video games and there was physical games. Whenever going outside was a thing, thank God it's not anymore. And last but not least, I played a lot of board games growing up. And board games are meant to bring a family together, make them closer with one another, if you will. For example, whenever I was playing video games or physical games like football or soccer, you don't really get mad at the other team that much because with video games you can just retry, and with physical games you're too tired afterwards to give a shit. However, I think a lot of you agree with me whenever I say that board games are different. I find that losing to my friends after 3 hours to a fucking dice roll can be very infuriating. You know, that was 3 hours of sitting there, plotting, scheming, learning how to backstab my friends, cheating even, only to lose is really just a punch in the face. And with these board games, you know, for about 45 minutes after you lose, you're fully planning out the murder of the other person that you played against and convinced that you can get away with it. Putting so much time into a game for someone just to go, oops, I win. And not to mention, the only real reason that any of us play the board games against our friends or family is so that for the next week you can periodically bring it up to piss them off. Just a little bit. But to bring it up to piss them off. You know, you'll be sitting there and talking with your friend and then they'll say, man, it must have sucked losing. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know a goddamn thing about that now, would I? So today we're going to talk about the board games that I think are the most fucking infuriating and will lead to fist fights more often than not. Maybe this happened to some of you. Maybe you guys did go through with that murder and plotted it out. I don't know. I'll never tell. Holy shit, I feel like this is no surprise. If you've ever played Monopoly, you know exactly what it can bring out of you and the people you hang around. It's a game quite literally about monopolizing over an economy. So, it's gonna get someone angry. First of all, holy shit, the pieces. I just want to be the race car, and all of a sudden there's an auction now for who gets to be the goddamn race car. It's me. But no, man, I'm gonna be lucky if I even fucking touch the thing. And there was always one weird kid who wanted the thimble. That was also me. And whenever you agree to playing Monopoly, you are very aware that you are signing up for what could be like a 3 or 4 hour game. And then within the first 5 turns, you are completely aware of if you are fucked or not. And if you are fucked, you better get to scheming and plotting and making some deals. You're either locked in, weaving in between properties, going to jail later in the game, that way you don't gotta pay any money, or you're begging one of your friends for like $100 to pay off the property you just landed on. Which, by the way, apparently there's a new Monopoly version called like Monopoly Cheaters Edition, which actually encourages you to cheat, and if you don't get caught, you don't get away with it. I've been doing that shit for like 10 years. I would slip a little money out of the banker. You know, he would never know. He would never know. Oh, you landed on my property? The rent's actually $15, but right now it's $30. They're not gonna check. But whenever someone does go bankrupt, and I don't know if your friends ever did this. This happens all the fucking time to me. And there's always relationships in a Monopoly game, right? You are either truce with someone or someone is truce with you, or you're like, you know, kind of plotting against people. There's always tension somewhere, right? And then whenever someone goes bankrupt and they look at me dead in the face, and they go, "Oh, I went bankrupt? I guess all of my properties go to Steve." All your properties go to Steve, huh? All of them. You just fucking threw the game for me. And then whenever that happens, you're stuck in this purgatory of being Mr. Monopoly himself for 3 hours, eventually getting tired of the game, but you can't quit early. You can't risk losing, because you know you still have a chance. You still got a chance. And the chance is to be that guy who brings it up for the next week and makes everyone feel bad that they lost. Do I hate it? Yeah. But if someone asks me to play Monopoly, I'm gonna play. Just for that chance. The cycle continues, man. What can I say? Next game. Alright, I know for a fact that you know what Risk is. It's fucking Risk. You claim areas at the beginning of the game. I'm not sure if you see this fucking guy right here, but 2 guys are always gonna fight over this. It might not be the entire table, but at least 2 people are going to fight for this early game. Okay, it's a necessity. It happens. It's a canon event. It cannot be stopped. And the 2 people who are fighting over Australia never fully secure it. They never fully secure the land bridge that's in between that and China. It's just there's always that there's something going on over there, right? And then on top of this, there's always the truces. And now, if you've played Risk with your friends, if you have them, I'm sorry if you don't, you know that since turn 1, if you're homies with someone, you're like, dude, I'm not gonna touch you. Don't even worry about me, man. I'm just gonna build my kingdom. And then 5 turns later, both of you are in the octagon throwing haymakers at each other, trying to put each other out of the game. And it's the same thing as Monopoly, where you know if you have a shot within like 5 turns. You know that if you only control Australia within the first 5 turns and someone else has like the United States or China, you're boned. You're not winning. And then sometimes you get jealous of the people who got out early because they're free now. They can go watch YouTube, they can go eat, not you. Not you. You gotta lock in. Now after you play for about an hour, and then the mid to end game starts happening, you either watch your entire empire fall apart, or you crumble your friend's empire. Neither of them feel good. You either watch your friend as he cries in between the tensions of the dice throws, and you're wiping out his squad, or you're watching as the entire last hour of work you put in goes completely away. No one feels good about what's going on. The tensions in between those dice throws is crazy though, and that's why we play it. I mean, I've seen one guy take out a squad of 10 pulling out some Alamo shit. That was me, by the way. That was me. I'm proud of that. Take me to a casino or what, man? But at least you might win a game of Risk, man. Next game. HeroScape is a game that I don't think a lot of people are going to be familiar with, but I need to talk about it with someone. HeroScape was a miniature game where you would actually build the terrain with special pieces that you'd buy from a kit, and there was a ton of different characters from a ton of different genres that all had special abilities. There was dragons, archers, Civil War guys, gladiators, modern day soldiers, robots, alien, just everyone had a different kind of purpose, and that's what made the game really cool. You would make the train, and then you would roll to see who gets the highest roll, and whoever did gets to pick the troop first. Now, some of the troops were clearly better than the others, and what I mean by that is that how fucking ever there is one character that is so monumentally better than any of the other characters that we had that if you didn't roll first, you're just gonna lose. This guy right here, Savaris, is my fucking nemesis for life. This guy has put so much pent-up rage in my brain for the last 11 years. You heard me goddamn right. I've been thinking about this little fucker for the last 11 years when I was 9 years old. I'm 9 years old. I'm playing with my 2 older brothers, right? Thinking they're gonna go easy on me. I'm little. I deserve some grace. Nah, we roll. I don't get first. My second oldest brother does, right? We set up the tiles. I noticed that because Savaris has such long range, he can set it up and still pelt me from spawn. We played 3 games over the span of 6 hours with this accommodation whenever I'm 9 years old. Whenever I tell you by the end of the 6 hours I was bawling, I was done. I was cooked. I was done. I can't move out of my base. He shoots me from spawn. I still have PTSD from this night, and I think about it quite often. And that was 11 years ago. I would absolutely play it again just for the chance to win. Honorable mentions, Uno. Holy shit, if you've ever played Uno with your family, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Having your relatives win at Thanksgiving 4 times in a row is enough to make a man go insane. Phase 10, definitely up there. Poker, definitely up there. Moral of the story is if you're gonna play any kind of table game, board game, win.